Good morning. It's DMac SMaK, or whenever you're watching this, for July 24th, 2025. The Broncos start training camp. We'll hear from Mike McGlinchey, Pat Surtain, and our guy, Sean Payton, in just a little bit. The Nuggets get some interesting respect from an interesting player. Details on that. Moron, one of the biggest idiots that you'll ever see, on the way. And the Rockies do something that, again, the Rockies set some weird stats with Major League history, but this is a good one. This is a good one that they snapped. Those details in just a little bit. Also, your comments, love them as we come. Okay. All right. I just got to fix something real quick. All right. Just getting things done for you the right way. Fixed. Your comments as they come, like we get this comment right here, and I say, good morning, DMac. No dumb questions. Out of all of your colleagues on PhD, do you watch their podcasts? Yeah, of course. Of course I watch. We have a variety of different podcasts from my colleagues on PhD. So sure, of course. I watch everybody's podcasts or little bits and pieces of it when I'm not doing my own. But that's not a dumb question. That's a fun question. Thank you, Dominic. All right. In terms of what we have going on today, it's all brought to you by Journey Spice. And you can use this QR code right here to save yourself 10% on Journey Spice at Amazon.com. That's Amazon.com. Journey Spice is the best. No sugar, no salt, non-GMO, flavor in, plastic out. It's incredible packaging. And I just leave the QR code, but I always have Journey Spice near to me. You just pinch the top, take it, put it on. Look how easy it is to put the cap back on. And it's, it's not stupid plastic. It's recyclable. It's better for you. Never mind the fact this is pizza seasoning, but they have a wide variety of flavors that taste absolutely delicious. And we use it on all sorts of things, from breakfast to fish to steak, pork chops, seafood, salads. We absolutely love Journey Spice. We stick it on everything. More from Journey Spice in just a little bit. But thank you, Journey Spice. You are the absolute best. We couldn't do it without you. Let's get to the Broncos and our big takeaways. Acclimation period. So they were only on the field together for the practice for about 50 minutes. And the shadow of massive construction on a training facility that is going to be absolutely second to none. It's going to be incredible. And camp opens up for the fans tomorrow. Today is another acclimation period. So is Friday, too. And Saturday, I wouldn't expect anything all that dramatic. When things really get going is when they put pads on, and that'll start next week. And you kind of go from there. But listen, the way NFL training camps are now, it's all about just getting to the starting line. And with the Broncos only having a reserve receiver on PUP, it's about as healthy as you can possibly imagine to start the season. And with the retention rate at around 86%, something like that, of players from last year coming back, I mean, this is a healthy, experienced, playoff, dangerous roster. And everybody knows it. In fact, I'll give this to you first. Here's Dan Orlovsky talking about what he likes about the Broncos to Pat McAfee.
It's going to be absolutely awesome. They'll have the best defense, or second or third best defense in football, and I think Bo Nix will only improve, but their offensive line will be top 6, top 7 in the league. The roster can get there. It would be them. Obviously, Cincy with their defense is massive question marks. Their offense can score with anyone, but the Chargers, I want to see how good their weapons play on the outside. But those would be two teams outside of those top 3 that I'm like, yeah, watch them.
Denver's fun to think about, just because what Bo Nix became at the end of the season. And the way he is fiery, too. But that is a...
Sean Payton was asked about it being a marriage between him and Bo Nix.
Well, I mean, look, I think that can vary depending on... It's easier to say that when you're talking to a head coach that works primarily with the offensive side of the ball and is involved in the play calling. But I think oftentimes it's used in a way, and sometimes, I said this, I think, in the offseason, like this was the perfect fit. Who's not interested in that player? It almost discredits the athlete, but it fits the narrative for those that had him ranked where they had. So we're never going to get away from our narratives, are we? We're going to hold on to we were right with that narrative. And so, that was the right fit. That's a great marriage, and that explains any success and all success. And so, but I think maybe it applies more to a head coach that's maybe more involved in one side of the ball or the other.
I think Sean's right about that. If you were into Bo Nix for the Broncos, you're having a victory lap like yours truly. And if you weren't, it's probably reluctance in coming along. People that didn't believe that Sean Payton truly loved Bo Nix are eating a big fat one right now. The fact that, the concept that the Broncos could have waited around and got themselves Brock Bowers and Bo Nix is silly. It would not have happened. That Bo Nix is less than just because he was the sixth quarterback taken, again, is stupid. Out of a very talented draft class, next to Jaden Daniels, and you can't argue with his success, Bo Nix was the second best quarterback, better than Drake May and Caleb Williams, who apparently had a rough day yesterday, better than J.J. McCarthy, who was injured, and better than Michael Penix Jr. Now, we'll see how it all washes out. But right now, the acquisition of Bo Nix has changed everything for this organization. Absolutely everything. And Sean Payton talked about how Bo was trying to get better in the offseason.
He's someone that works his tail off, wants to improve. The whole offseason is planned out. He's gone and visited Breeze for 4 or 5 days, and that's Tom House in here, and there's a lot that he wants to absorb in a fast period of time, and that's a great thing for a young player like that, and we're never just going to pick up from where we left off, but there's a lot of building to do when we look at last year, and a lot of positive things to look at, Yeah, that's what I would think of.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. And my guy, Eric Goodman, great question. How do you sleep at night knowing that you have Bo Nix? Better?
Well, they're hard to find, and so I don't know that I have this little thing that measures the quality of my sleep, so I don't know if it's changed drastically. I'll still get a 70-something once in a while because I'm up eating or something. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at my 8 sleep over 3 years.
This time.
Okay. That's Sean Payton trying to be funny. Bo Nix looked like he was in charge yesterday because he is in charge. And we're not playing any foolish games about quarterback competitions and you got to win this and you got to win that. And I love Jarrett Stidham as the backup and Sam Ehlinger. Whatever. They'll cut him. He'll be on practice squad theoretically. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a perfect combination. It's a great quarterback room. It's retention. It's getting better. It's having more confidence. Listen, you understand why people are feeling good about the Denver Broncos, and they should. And the coaches do believe in their wide receivers. That's why they didn't draft one high, and they got Pat Bryant. They hope big things for him. The Broncos got 2 different running backs because the running game just wasn't good enough, and J.K. Dobbins and in R.J. Harvey. Like it. Love it. If Estime works out, fine. If he doesn't, whatever. Same with Jaleel McLaughlin. It doesn't matter. It's J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. That's the focus of the attention. It's where it should be. As the Broncos open up this camp, you are well within your rights to be as optimistic about this team as you've been in more than a decade. How about that? Pretty freaking awesome. Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. He's on the team too. He's high on Bo Nix.
Bo, he's even more confident going into this year. Obviously, with year 1 under his belt, a lot more confidence rises on that. So The team, we have Bo back through the whole way through. He's a tremendous leader out there, obviously a tremendous player. So, this year he's going to make a lot of noise, and we're looking forward to see what he does and his success moving forward. So this whole
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. And with the Titans and Indy being your first two games, look for the Broncos to jump out to a fast start. Absolutely love it. Meanwhile, Mike McGlinchey knows that the expectations are high for the right reasons because they're bringing everybody back. Here is Mayor McGlinchey.
I care about how we play, and I think we played well. And we have but at the same time, there's a ton of room to grow, and we all know that. And I think it's the first time in my career, and I'm sure a lot of the other O linemen can speak to the same, that we really didn't touch anything. There's the whole two deep's back. You got a couple rooks coming in to push us a little bit forward, and that's a pretty cool thing. And I think that says a lot to what our group has accomplished so far. Certainly having RJ and JK and the rest of the running back room is going to really be helpful for us. And I think we have a long way to go in terms of improving that area of our offense. And we're excited for that opportunity because we know if we can accomplish that, we're going to have a lot of success this year.
That's the vibe. It's a really positive feeling out at Dove Valley. It's a team under construction, but it's close to being built all the way. The building and facilities have further to go than the Broncos do in terms of being completely built. It's exciting, really exciting. And we'll have nonstop coverage for you as day 2 of training camp, the acclimation period, goes on today. Full coverage on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5, on the socials, everywhere you can imagine, and on the radio as well, with eyewitness reporting and sound and reaction. And you don't have to go anywhere else for the best Broncos coverage. You really don't. It's Altitude Sports Radio 92.5, so make sure you like and subscribe. Moving on to the Rockies, and I want to get this right, so excuse me if I do a little reading here. But the Rockies had gone a stunning 220 games without shutting out an opponent. It's the first shutout the Rockies have had since May 15, 2024. That's the third longest in Major League Baseball history. However, it's the longest in modern day baseball history. And we know, because we track the Rockies' march towards history, that modern baseball started in 1901. You have to go back further to the Washington Senators, who went 383 games without a shutout from 1893 to 1896. And the St. Louis Browns / Perfectos went 298 games from 1897 to 1889. That is wild. So, for the Rockies to win 6-0 over the Cardinals, for this guy, Tanner Gordon, who you probably don't, he has pitched for the Rockies a little bit, but he's a minor league player who was brought up. And the fact that, but again, he's 2-2 for the Rockies. How about that? Maybe Tanner Gordon should be here a little bit longer. So he's barely played for the Rockies. Big guy, though, 6'5", 215, 27 years of age. I don't know. Maybe we should see a little bit more of Tanner Gordon around here. But he pitched great. Through 6 innings, 4 hits, of course, no runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 96 pitches, 65 strikes. Pitched really, really well. Then Hergert came in for 2 innings, only gave up 1 hit. And Kinley shut the door with 2 strikeouts, closing out the 9th inning to win another series. It's their second series they've won in a row. That's the only 2 home series they have won over the Cardinals and now the Twins. They start a trek with the Orioles tomorrow, who are not a very good team. And then they play Cleveland, who can be a good team. So they got 6 games on the road after a day off today. Listen, the Rockies have 26 wins. They need 16 games 16 wins to avoid being the worst team in history. And they're still sort of tracking around this, like, well, this hasn't happened since here and that hasn't happened since there. So they still have that. But at least they're breaking historic records. Warren Schaefer didn't even realize it had been that long.
I did not know that, but that is, it's a long time without a shutout. 220 games without a shutout. That's a long time. But I'm glad we shut him out today. That was good. Behind Gordon. Gordon did a fantastic job through 6 innings. Good mix. Changeup, slider, fastball. Nola did a really nice job leading him. Just a fantastic job by Tanner Gordon coming up and doing that, coming up from the minor leagues. I mean, I can't say enough good about him.
Yeah, especially he's a guy, he uses that changeup a lot, but that slider today seemed like whenever he needed it, it was there to get out of something.
Yeah, I agree. I thought, all of his pitches were good today. I mean, like I said, the mix was good, but the slider in big spots, I think, was a difference maker for sure.
I've been calling off and on Warren Schaefer 2.0 because some of his decisions and some of the things that he's done have reminded me too much of Bud Black. But he ain't 2.0 now. No way. He is Warren Schaefer. And he has done things with this club that Bud Black couldn't imagine doing. Warren, and I was screaming from the highest hilltop how bad of a manager Bud Black was. I don't blame Warren Schaefer for falling back into some bad Bud Black habits, but things have changed, and they were not hot going into the All-Star break. They were like 1-6 going into the All-Star break. It wasn't great, but Warren Schaefer got them together. They had a little powwow. They reset the culture a little bit, and the guys are playing terrific. Warren Schaefer discusses that.
That's 2 straight series victories at home. Can you generalize and see something that's clicking right now to make this step forward for the team to make that kind of progress?
I just think that 2 very good series for us. I think coming out of the break, I think that the guys just want to get after it. That's all, and you can tell. And some things look different, which is a good thing. It seems like a full 9 innings are being played on a consistent basis these first 2 series, and we want to continue that. This is a game of consistency, and we can't let it end here. We need to carry it over into the next series.
Love it. Absolutely love it. It is different, and Warren Schaefer's a big reason. Also, Mickey Moniak is having a great year, as is Tyler Freeman, and it does look like a different team since Tovar came back, okay? I'm sorry Ritter's on the IR, but it just wasn't, I don't know. Hopefully he'll be a great player for them at some point, but he's not like Tovar is. What's sad is a little bit, Ryan McMahon has been playing fantastic since the All-Star break, but the trade deadline is July 31st. The Rockies will be on the road. That might have been the last game that you see Ryan McMahon play in Coors Field. It actually should be the last game that you see. He went 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday, but he has been playing really well. He has. But if the Rockies don't trade Ryan McMahon, they're just doing themselves a disservice. And they should try to get rid of Jake Bird as well. I don't think he has the same value as he did early in the year. He hasn't pitched as well. But the number one priority to trade, for sure, is Ryan McMahon. And I salute Ryan. Had a good career as a Rocky. He is a above average defensive third baseman. And for a team like the Yankees with the short porch and right fields, he should be a very valuable guy. He should be a New York Yankee, and I bet he thrives there. So I'm not here to badmouth Ryan McMahon. I think Ryan's kind of realized what's going on in his life right now. And as sad and as depressing as his plate approaches were in the first half of the season, he's been a different player since the All-Star break, because I think he realizes, well, here it is. I've got to, look good to somebody. And he's played really well. So I wish him the best, and I hope he does get traded. He should. If he doesn't, that would be actually kind of a waste. The Rockies are 50 games under 500. And it's weird to talk so glowingly about a team that is, like that. But they have won 4 of their last 6 games, 4-2 since the All-Star break. We'll see what happens in Baltimore. It'd be great to get more series wins, that's for sure. And the schedule is not that daunting right now. It really isn't. You've got another 6 games against a couple teams that are like below 500 or close to 500 teams. You got a shot. You have more than a shot. So we look forward to seeing what they do over the weekend with the day off. We have Matt LaFleur in an awkward situation in the Tour de Moron. We'll get to that in a second, but I just want to point something out. The Rockies still, even though I'm saying so many glowing things, they do Rockies things. Like, they use Creed as a celebration song in the locker room when things are going well. Here's Tanner Gordon, and I'm happy for Tanner Gordon, but I'm playing this for you so you can hear how the Rockies celebrate with Creed.
Yeah, I think changeup is pretty good today. I think that's kind of what's keeping me afloat in my career, and it's come along nicely. Nolan was doing a really good job behind the dish, mixing it in really well in the fastball, changeup, slider. So I think it was pretty good.
It's interesting that obviously you walked a couple guys that first game.
I'm just saying, listen, you can celebrate to whatever song you want, but when you break out Creed.
Yeah, I think changeup is pretty good today. I think that's kind of what's keeping me afloat in my career, and it's come along nicely.
Let's go there.
Nolan was doing a really good job behind the dish, mixing it in really well in the fastball, changeup, slider.
Can you take me higher?
Obviously you walked a couple guys that first game.
The Rockies. Hey, I like Higher by Creed. Reminds me of that Thanksgiving game with the bald dude and the scarves flying around Cowboy Stadium. And for those who are into your DMac trivia, we used that at our first Wing Bowl. Can you take me to Wing Bowl? That goes back with Craig Carton and Mark Stout to, to, I think, January of 2000. How many people out there remember us doing a parody song to Hire for Wing Bowl in January of 2000? Myself, Craig Carton, and Mark Stout on KBPI. Woo! Rockies, pretty hip. We'll get to the Tour de Moron and Matt LaFleur looking kind of silly. And good words about the Nuggets. In fact, I'll give you the good words about the Nuggets right now. And this comes from Josh Hartenstein. Quote, the Nuggets were the only series we were like, quote, even if we do everything right, they probably still have a chance. That is an awesome thing to hear and heartbreaking at the same time. The one team that the Thunder were the most worried about were your Denver Nuggets. So there's that. All right, we'll get into pure stupidity in just a second. First, this from Journey Spice.
There's a world of flavor out there, and to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
Love you, Journey Spice. Save 10% using the code 10Nuggets at Amazon.com. Singles, 2-packs, 4-packs, they're the absolute best. We're looking at the Tour de France right now. Ooh, interesting. All right, they're doing some mountain stages. And look at this. Tadej Pogačar got dropped a little bit on a mountain stage. See this?
Ben asking them, perhaps, why don't you take a pull? Why don't you do something? And then Ben O'Connor decided to attack. Matteo went straight after it. But so far, No reaction from Vingegaard and Pogacar.
Interesting. Oh, my God. I'm obsessed with the Tour de France. But that's interesting. An attack right there, and Pogacar and Vingegaard didn't go with them. But they're making an attack back. God, I love it. I absolutely love it. We'll get to your comments here in a second, and I have time to finish up watching the Tour de France. I sit there every morning like an idiot, yelling and screaming. I was told by my son I sound like a moron as I'm screaming at the TV about crashes and who finishes at sprints. I'm obsessed. It's ridiculous. As obsessed as I am, though, I wouldn't do this. As we have the Tour de Moron. This is a guy who just jumped in with his bike to finish his version of the Tour de France. When I first saw this, I thought it was like a rider. I thought it was like a real rider. I thought it was like, oh, that's somebody sort of trailing the peloton. Ouch. I was like, well, that's kind of harsh for missing the time limit, isn't it? But no, this is just some dude who jumped in with his bike to cross the finish line. I mean, was that really necessary? You gotta throw the shoulder on him. Do you gotta do that? I mean, I think he would have slowed down at some point. We'll get to your comments here in a second. In a moment of zen, here's Matt LaFleur not realizing that an Amber Alert has been set off.
Season, I think this is. All you guys and your phones. That's why I don't have a phone in here. This is why we have our rule: no phone. So. I don't even know what the question is anymore.
Pesky Amber Alerts. But I'm glad Matt LaFleur is taking the higher road. No phones. We'll get to those Amber Alerts later. Thank you, Coach. Really appreciate it.
Oh, look at these two.
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 Let's get to some of your comments here and see what you got to say. And then we can wrap it up today. Greenlaw looks like Hulk Hogan out there. I love it. Dre Greenlaw, important addition. Inside linebacker. Good morning, DMac. Good morning to you. So should we be encouraged? Yeah. Yeah, things are pretty positive right now. I'd say things are pretty positive for the Nuggets. I'd be more positive about the Rockies, despite how rough it is. It's been much better. And your Broncos, I mean, through the roof. Through the roof. Keep a separate track based on who is the boss. Whoa. Not a bad open field tackle of a cyclist. I mean, that was impressive. I don't know if it was necessary, but it was definitely. Okay. Let's see here. Hey, is Justin Fields still the pick over Surtain? Absolutely, 100%. Because it's the position, not the person. It's your need at quarterback over your need at cornerback. And you don't get a crystal ball, and you don't get to look into the future. There's so many other quality corners out there, and it's so hard to find a quarterback. And if you don't have one, you're screwed. Period. The end. And that is not a good plan. Am I happy the Broncos have the Defensive Player of the Year in Pat Surtain? Sure, of course. You need great players, and Pat Surtain is clearly a great player. But the Broncos took a corner when they needed a quarterback. What happened after that? Well, Vic Fangio got fired. John Elway had to step away. George Payton did the worst deal in the world for Russell Wilson that cost them 2 first-round draft picks. They had to use a first-round draft pick when they traded Bradley Chubb for Sean Payton. Sean Payton had a coach with Russell Wilson that was a complete disaster. The Broncos had to sacrifice their roster to get away from a horrible contract they extended to Russell Wilson, and they went through an ownership change. Then they drafted Bo Nix. Now, if Justin Fields didn't work out, and I'd make the argument that they wouldn't have drafted Justin Fields unless they had already moved on from Vic Fangio. As Sean Payton talked about, the symbiotic relationship with a coach and a quarterback is critically important. And there would have been no point in having Vic Fangio for Justin Fields. Don't forget, the person that acquired Justin Fields in the offseason was Darren Muji, who was in the room as an assistant GM to George Payton when Surtain was drafted. And we know because the Broncos showed us this video. It was an unsettled room taking Surtain, not because they doubted Pat Surtain, but because most of the room, significantly the scouts, knew they needed a quarterback. And Muji, who was in the room, who was one of the decision makers, has gone all in with Justin Fields in New York. What does that tell you? But even if Fields doesn't work out, you would have found out within 2 years. There's no doubt about it. So even if he doesn't work out, you're back in the draft a couple of years later. However, you still have your first-round draft picks. So say Fields is terrible. The next year, Sauce Gardner was the top-rated corner. He's not Pat Surtain, but he gets paid more than Pat Surtain, and he's one of the top corners. You could have easily drafted Sauce Gardner the next year if Fields didn't work out. My friends, you don't start the foundations of an organization that's really struggling with a cornerback. That's dumb. You don't start with a tight end like Brock Bowers that we heard a lot of people argue for. You don't do it. You start with a quarterback and you keep going until you get the guy. And everybody who says, well, you only draft a quarterback if he's the right guy. That analysis to me is the dumbest thing of all time. It supposes that you have some sort of crystal ball and can see into the future. You don't. And you can't choose when you suck, meaning you're in your draft position when you're in your draft position. It was bad luck for Kenny Pickett to be the only quarterback in the draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers the year, and they picked him at like 15. That's a weird year. This upcoming year, there may be 5 or 6 quarterbacks again taken in the first round, and Arch Manning may be the 6th rated one. It's a strong quarterback class in 2025. This past year, kind of just so-so. You only had a couple guys, and Shadur Sanders went in the 5th round. By the way, Kenny Pickett getting first-team reps with the Browns. How about that? So would I have taken Fields over Surtain 1,000 times over? Is he a better player than Pat Surtain? No, not right now. But he plays a more valuable position. And it's your relative value to the team that shows you the importance of the player. And the value of the quarterback, as defined by salaries in the NFL, is way above a cornerback. A cornerback by salary is maybe your fifth most important position on a team, outpaced by wide receiver, left tackle, pass rusher, and then we get to cornerback. So yeah, of course I would, because it's the right thing to do. People get hung up in the specifics because everybody pretends they have a crystal ball. But you do understand, even if Fields hadn't worked out, and there were people in the room that wanted Fields that day, and one of them is running the New York Jets, and we'll see how it goes. But even if he didn't work out, you would have built a stronger team. It would have been without Pat Surtain, who is a great player. But you easily, if it didn't work out, have had Sauce Gardner if you wanted to go in the cornerback direction. This was obvious at the time. What the Broncos did this year is not so obvious. It's a little, we'll see, because there were Matthew Golden, wide receiver, the second highest paid total position next to quarterback, was available and was considered one of those guys. The Broncos passed on him. They passed on running backs and several tight ends to drop down twice to get RJ Harvey, who they picked in the second round, who would have been available in the third round. And they might have arguably overdrafted Pat Bryant, a receiver, in the third round. This was the I told you so draft. But that is a different conversation than a quarterback. I have a raised eyebrow about it, but I'm not banging the table that it was a mistake, but it's okay. Listen, I hope Jahdae Barron turns out to be incredible. And I know taking just the best player on the board in the first round is weird because it should be the best player at a position of need. But it's small potatoes compared to missing on a quarterback. But this is why, thank God, the Broncos drafted the right guy by a mile. And you don't sit around and wait to get the tight end first and then get the quarterback. Why? Because it shows a lack of commitment. That's why second-round quarterbacks are destined to fail these days. There was a time back in the day when you could take a second, maybe even third-round quarterback and be okay. Not anymore. There's too much money. There's too much time invested into it. By the way, I like that Brian Daboll at the beginning of camp said Russell Wilson's our number one quarterback. That's a smart thing to do, sort of. Having Russell Wilson on your team isn't all that smart. But they got Jameis Winston. They got Jackson Dart. They're not really paying Russ a lot of NFL money. It's a lot of real money, trust me. But it's not a lot of NFL quarterback money, not comparatively. And we'll see how things go. I'm just glad, and you got to understand, the ownership situation of the Broncos and John Elway's lack of comprehension of how to build a team was really debilitating. Things are different, way different. And the person you have to thank the most for it is Greg Penner specifically. Seriously. We couldn't have got a better owner. And I'm thrilled to be able to say that. What they're building over there, that doesn't happen without Greg Penner. Wait till they build a new stadium. That is going to be unbelievable. And a lot of the decisions that are being made on the football field wouldn't have happened without Greg Penner as well. So props, man. Props to you, Greg. And props to the Broncos. Yeah. I'm bizarrely excited. Fields just got carted off this morning at training camp. He's a bust, always been a bust. DMac, got to stop defending his pick. Adam, I don't know if I could be more eloquent. I did not know that, by the way. Are you being true? Oh, hold on. That really, the timing of that is kind of bizarre. Wow, this is happening in real time. Hold on. I'm not doubting you. Off on a cart? Wow. Justin Fields was carted to the locker room after suffering an apparent lower leg injury. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wow. I am really, really sorry to hear that. Now you got to get banned, Adam. Hate speeching minutes after a player gets injured, saying he's a bust is hateful. Go to therapy. Fields an incredible talent. DMac defending him is wise. It's real. I am sorry, lunch table legend. Wow, this is like non-contact acclimation. I am really, really sorry to hear that, man. And a player getting injured isn't him being a bust or whatever. That's just a bad, bad thing. The timing, that is crazy timing. Yeah. Wow. Well, it doesn't change the thing I said. Doesn't mean a damn thing. That I'm really, really sorry to hear that. Sorry. That sucks. That does suck. Let's see here. Don't think that tackle was even necessary. A bit much. Oh, you're talking about the guy. Yeah. Fair enough. It's a complete crapshoot if the quarterback OC scheme all. It's not a crapshoot. It's not. Again, that's another like. No offense. I'm so glad you're watching and listening, but that's kind of lazy analysis. In all honesty, it's not a crapshoot. If you look at the top quarterbacks, how they came to their teams, what the teams have done to enable their success, you'll see Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. These are not crapshoots. It's not. And when you look at the top quarterbacks in the league, you'll see how many are first-round guys compared to pick somewhere else. It's easy to find. Wow, I'm just a bit lazy this morning. LOL, fair, my guy. All right. Wow. Well, shocking development here to find out that news as I just go on a long rant about the whole thing all over again. But goodness gracious. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Well, I'm going to dig into that. I mean, a lower leg injury and carting off right off the bat to me, I think of an Achilles, which is a very popular non-contact, thing. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know the facts, but tune in later today. You can listen right now. Mosier, Lombardi, and Kane. All sorts of Broncos stuff today. We have coverage for you top to bottom. We'll be thrilled to be on with Tyler's off this week, but Scott Hastings. But we'll have reports from Andy Lindahl, our guy, Josh Grismer, Broncos training camp. And we talked to the Denver Post, Parker Gabriel. So we got you covered. Everything you need to know about training camp from noon to 3 on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. One last thing, taking a shot on a quarterback first round is always wise for a team that doesn't have a franchise quarterback. 100% of the time, it's the best pick for a quarterback. Needy team to take a shot on a quarterback in the first round. Yes. Just look around the league. That's all you got to do. I really don't have to go on and on about it. Just take a peek. That's all you got to do. You can figure it out relatively easily. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you get some Journey Spice. Love Journey Spice. Save 10% using the code 10nuggets at Amazon.com. It's going to be an interesting day today. Really, really interesting.